I'm at the beach at North Padre after running about 5 miles in the surf, which is one of my favorite things in the universe. And of course, everything for me is some sort of metaphor and some sort of spiritual experience. I think that's the way life should be. So basically, you won't see me in this movie because I'm in my beach Podresnik. It's a special Podresnik produced in where the southern climes. It's very useful for beaches, and it sheds sunscreen really well and dries off real quickly. It's a little sheer. You can see through it, so I don't want anybody to see my beach Podresnik. So you can hear me, I think, because I tested, but it's obviously the surf is kind of loud. So I was running, and running for me always is a metaphor. But running is like you start it and you don't stop. I have a rule. Like if I say I'm going to run 3 miles, I run 3 miles. That's the way it's going to be. So my rule this time was I was going to definitely run at least 2 miles. And I ended up running more because I wanted to run to a jetty that was a little bit away after I had already done 2 miles. And then I rested for a bit and looked at the jetty, and then I ran back. And I think that's a metaphor for life, isn't it? You make sure that you don't stop. It's important not to stop. It's important to do something, do what you can. Also, I'm an old fat man, and so I used to be able to run 6-minute miles. I can't come close to a 6-minute mile now. I think if I had to, I definitely can run a 10-minute mile, but I don't think I can run 3 in a row like I used to do routinely. And that was only 10 years ago, maybe 15. I can't do that anymore. But I can run, and I don't really get that tired in terms of I never get out of breath because I've got real good cardiovascular system, and I always brag about that because my heart rate's so low. But I can't run fast. You know, running, I started with about 13.5-minute miles running through the surf, either 2 inches or maybe up to 10 inches or even a foot high. And that's laborious. It's so much fun though. But eventually I got a little tired, and so I ended up, I think when I finished, I was basically about just shy of a 16-minute mile, which is really kind of pitiful, but I was running through the surf. And the thing is, I did it. And you know, I am what I am. You read about the saints and you find out they do all this incredible stuff. Well, you know what? I can't do that incredible stuff. They can do 500 prostrations or 5,000 prostrations in a night. You know what? I can't do 5,000 prostrations in a night. Maybe I can do 200. Maybe I can do 50 that day. Maybe 25. You know, whatever. And we do what we can do. That's one of my rules. You got to do what you can do. If you don't do what you can do, you're in big trouble. Because then you're going to lose that ability. So that's a really important rule. And I think running teaches me that. I can't run so fast anymore, but I can run in the surf, and I can enjoy the sun, and I can still be physically fit. And I just run according to my abilities. That's it. I do it as good as I can. That's it. There's nothing else. And that's a good metaphor. That's a good way to live life. And also, you're running and the waves are coming and the waves are coming and the waves are coming, and they don't stop coming, do they? Well, that's the way it should be with our frustrations, with our prayer rule, with sticking to things even when it seems like things are not going well. We have to have a way of staying with things. You know, as a priest, I saw all kinds of people come into the church, or they say, give me a prayer rule, and they're all zealous, and then 3 years later, or 2 years later, or even 10 years later, they're gone. They're doing whatever they're doing because they couldn't stick to it. And we got to stick to things. So if you can have a prayer rule of 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night, stick to it. Now, hopefully, maybe in a year you can do 10 minutes each time. And you can add your prostrations in, and you can do your commemorations, and you can read the Psalter, all that stuff. But if all that stuff is too hard for you, maybe it's too hard for you because of your sins. Well, it definitely is too hard because of your sins. Let's admit it. We often are too lazy, and we could work harder. But let's at least work as hard as we're able to work so that we can work harder later. That's a very important principle that most people just don't understand. They don't get it. And that running teaches me that. I'm running, seeing the waves. They just keep coming. And they just keep coming, so we should keep coming, right? We should keep doing our prostrations. We should keep coming to the services, keep coming to confession, come to communion, even though sometimes we don't really think we get a whole lot better. But we are getting better. It's all cumulative. That's what running teaches me. You just keep doing it. And if you say you're going to do something, don't stop doing it. So when I say I'm going to run 3 miles, it's going to be 3 miles. If you say you're going to do a commemoration list for these people, don't stop commemorating those people every day. Now, I don't recommend you to have a commemoration list of every Tsar of Russia that you can look up in the history books and every single bishop you know of and blah, 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 and have a commemoration list of 2,000 people or even 200 people or even 100 people, because what will happen? You start being zealous and you do it and then you're done and then you don't do it at all. It's better to make sure you commemorate according to these rules. First of all, obviously people in your family. You should commemorate your priest. You should commemorate people that cross your path and that make some sort of impression on you, positive or negative. You don't get along with somebody, you must commemorate them. You love somebody very much, they've done something very beautiful for you, they're very dear to you, you must commemorate them. Doesn't matter if they're alive or dead, doesn't matter if they're a believer or not, doesn't matter what they are. You must pray for them if they make a significant impact in your life. And I guess if you have 100 people that make that kind of impact, then I guess you got to pray for 100 people. But for the most part, we can't come up with 100 people that have made a significant impact in our life. So those are some of my lessons about running on the beach. It's good to be alive. It's good to see the waves come in and know that they're going to keep coming in no matter what. And we got to be like that with our Christian life. And if we are, well, we're going to be okay. God is going to save us. Despite our terrible sins and despite our laziness and everything else, we're going to find a way not to be lazy in some ways, and God is going to fill us with His grace, and then we're going to get better. So that's what running has taught me. I hope it means something to you. God bless you.